All right, we got X.
I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to summer and you playing fullback up there, and I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. If you could pick up, you were strong enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to fix it, and our running back coach didn't take it. Biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier on Tide 100.9 on your radio dial. Also, Martin Houston speaks on Facebook and Twitter. Also, you can find us at Martin Houston Live on YouTube. We're live, local, and ready to get things going. Want to invite you to join us on the conversation at 205-342-9904. That's the Alabama One hotline. Get in on the conversation if you like. If you're listening on the online network, all you have to do is chat us up. Put your chat in. We'll add it to the conversation, work it in. But either way, you can be a part of the show. It's the sound of Bama Sports, your show, your team. Our playbook today is a little true false. Bama versus LSU, recruiting with Hank South, 247 Sports. What's next for Auburn and more. So if you want to get in on the conversation, don't hesitate to join us right now. Remember that this is a day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Good morning, X. How you doing, sir?
Good morning. Doing well. How are you?
Doing well. A little true false this morning. Let's we can go to several different topics. You or Aiden may even have a true false you want to throw in, or one of our listeners may want to throw a true false in there. But we'll start off, since it's Bama LSU week. We'll start off with a little true false regarding Brian Kelly, LSU. He made the statement that the reason he was leaving Notre Dame, part of the reason he was leaving Notre Dame, because, hey, look, he was in a good place. He was winning. Notre Dame was relevant. Notre Dame was making it to the playoffs. But Notre Dame was getting shellacked. Alabama's beat them by combined 35 points or something in 2 games, something like that, 30 points or so. He said he was coming here because he wanted to face Nick Saban. I guess a 2-part question, true, false, is his dream going to come true, or is he going to have a nightmare in which he was back in Notre Dame? And at the same time, is this, even with the first-year LSU team that he hadn't even got his own parts in, does this LSU team represent his best chance to beat a Nick Saban coach team on his 3rd round?
I'll go false on winning this weekend. I don't think it's going to be the dream that he wants. LSU has proven to be a very good football team this year, but I don't think they match up well with Alabama. And as far as the second one goes, I'll go false as well. I think once he has his guys in and the guys he'll be able to recruit at LSU versus Notre Dame, it'll help his chances.
Okay, I'm not sure you fully understood that second part of the question. Not whether he's going to get better, because if he doesn't, he won't be there long. Does this Notre Dame team, does this LSU team give him his best chance to win versus the prior two Notre Dame teams that he had a chance to build? Not saying he's going to win, huh?
Okay, I get the question now. Probably yes. Yes,
Yeah.
I'll say true on that one. This will probably be his best opportunity because I always feel like LSU has been able to compete with most of the teams that he fielded at Notre Dame, if not better.
Yeah. Aiden, what are your thoughts? Is he going to have a dream come true or a nightmare? And is this his best? Will this be his best opportunity thus far to win against a Nick Saban coach team?
No, it's going to be a nightmare for him. Might not be the worst nightmare. It might be a closer game than we're used to seeing. But I'm also going to go false on whether or not this is his best chance. I truly believe that, barring the total meltdown of Manti Te'o's personal life, that 2012 team was his best chance to beat Nick Saban, and still is to this day.
You talking about the one where we beat him 42-14?
Look at the difference in the way Manti Te'o played all season, and the way the team performed, and the way he played that night, and the way his team performed. It was not the same team with that dude not in the right headspace. That's just my opinion.
Oh my God, Aiden, we would have beat that team just
28 points.
Manti Te'o was overhyped.
Best player off the team, and that's clearly what happened. I think it would have at least been a competitive game with Manti.
42-21.
42-17. 14.
You got to remember, their offense only scored 14 points against Alabama's defense.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting. That may be the follow up true false if any of our listeners want to get in on it. I think Manti Te'o was overhyped Notre Dame propaganda. I don't think he was a good linebacker. I thought he was overhyped, big time overhyped. He was good for Notre Dame, but I don't think he was a great linebacker. I would put it like this. I would have loved to have played against Manti Te'o in college. He would have been like taking candy from a baby. And I'm not trying to be ugly with that, and I'm sure it comes across arrogant, but he just I don't know, maybe it would have been closer earlier. I get that part, Aiden, but you go back and look at those two teams. You go back and look at those two teams. That Notre Dame team wasn't even like physically. They just were outmanned. And the people who were on the sideline that night said the same thing, like, wow, these two don't even look like they belong in the same league. Now, I will agree with you. I think it would have taken us more than halftime. I think at the beginning of the game, he probably would have had a little more hype to it. But hey, we'll never know. But I still think that Notre Dame team was probably way overhyped. And not only would we have beat them that way, anybody would have beaten them that way, probably in that top 3 or 4 teams. I just think this team gives him the best chance because of the way they're playing. So let's get to Pat, and then we'll come back to another true false on that. But hey, that's what I love. Aiden, that was Aiden's opinion. He was able to share it. He can rebuttal if he wants when we come back to him. But the difference is Kelly felt like he had to get to the SEC in order to get enough talent to play and beat the Nick Sabans of the world. Because he realized, I think he realized, I'm beating all these other teams, but when I get down to the big boys in that championship level, Notre Dame just can't get enough dogs to beat the best of the best. And, at home, not a neutral site, at home, he has a couple other things that we'll talk about in a moment that may give him his best chance, and we'll talk about that. But let's bring in Pat. Pat, you're in with the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier on the Alabama One Hotline. What's on your mind, sir?
Martin, there is zero chance that your true false question is definitely false. That
which part?
And look, I can remember I was down in Miami for that game. I actually had field passes for that game, and it was men against boys. I mean, small boys at that. We're talking about a JV team at best in comparison. I mean, even though they had won some games, but they were playing totally inferior competition to the SEC, and I mean, it was just a size difference. Oh my Lord! I was sitting next to the stupid leprechaun of Notre Dame's famous leprechaun. He came through the airport wearing that crap, and I was on Yahoo Sports for over 6 months. It was me sitting next to the leprechaun, looking at him like, you're nuts. But it was so crazy how we were so much bigger than that team was. And
right, and that's what I was talking about. The people that were there said it was. I'm not talking about like Bama fans. I'm talking about the Herb Streets of the world were heard saying, "Oh my God, you cannot." The differences in these two teams is just crazy.
Yes, and your '92 team though would have destroyed them. They wouldn't have crossed the 50-yard line against your '92 team. I thoroughly believe that. There's no way. And but anyway, they wouldn't have scored anything on the '92 team. And you, were you leading the running backs? Oh my God, it would have been bad news for that little linebacker they had. And he was just, you're correct, overhyped. There's no doubt about it. But it wouldn't have mattered. I mean, that particular day, I mean, whether it was '92 or whether it was 2012, it just didn't matter. And but Martin, hey, can Coach Saban recruit or what? Hey, and bringing in another surfer boy, that's what I want to talk about. Another surfer boy. What do you think, Martin? You're tough on these surfer boys. Come on now, tell me about it.
Well, the only surfer boy that's lived up to the hype is the one we got right now. So,
but now, hey, we're bringing in one that, from what I understand and what film I've watched, hey, he's a real deal. But
you're gonna have to get Xavier to respond on that one. I don't get that far ahead in recruiting. He'd be here when I'm like 55 or something. I'm just kidding. What is he, a 2022 recruit?
He's coming in next year. And I'm not talking about 2024. He's coming right around the corner, buddy. But hey, he's going to carry Nick Saban into the next 6 years. And hey, he's going to be his
last starter. I can see that.
Yep, I can see that this young man is going to help Saban win. Within the next 6 years, Saban wins 2 more national titles besides this year.
All right, Pat, I'm finna mess you up. True false.
Write it down.
True false. This kid never plays at Alabama because by the time he gets here, Jalen Milroe has transferred out. Ty Simpson and Eli Holstein has watched and waited behind the grad transfer or the transfer portal guy that Saban's bringing in next year. This guy gets here, and now you have the transfer that's playing 2 years as a starter, then Simpson transfers, then Hosting transfers, and then this kid, oh, okay, he might get there by the time all that happens.
Hey, we're going to win national titles. Nick Saban is building a juggernaut. Hey, this 23 class. Yeah, that's right. Lonergan out of Georgia. Yeah, you're right about that.
He'll be a wide receiver or something by the time he leaves.
Yeah, we're gonna have to find somewhere else for him to play. But anyway, Martin, hey, I am impressed with Coach Saban. Is all I'm gonna say.
Well, I'm gonna let you go, but Curtis Lewis said Saban's recruiting isn't the question today. Developing and getting the right coaches to do it is the question. Woo!
Okay. Curtis Lewis, you're doing a great job, buddy.
I'm gonna make that a true false. Thanks, Pat.
Yeah, we're gonna find us an offensive coordinator somewhere. He's got a short list, I guarantee you that. All right, have a blessed day, Martin Houston.
Have a great one. All right. Well, we'll throw that in the question of a true false there coming back on the other side regarding Saban and recruiting. Is the downfall of Alabama program, the downward slide of Alabama's dynasty, if it slides, is it going to be because Alabama doesn't develop players the way they used to? True or false? We'll answer that when we come back on the other side.
0.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks. Everything pretty quiet on the roadways as we start out Thursday morning. Now, if you do see conditions throughout the day that folks need to hear about, give me a call, 205-886-8886. Townsend Nissan is your hometown dealer with an amazing selection of new and used vehicles, and they will give you top dollar for your trade. Go see them today. I'm Captain Ray.
Black Friday deals, Black Friday deals. The gifts are unreal. Through Sunday, shop thousands of Black Friday deals at JCPenney. Get the warmth of a cozy puffer jacket or the sparkle of diamonds. We got your holiday.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. See better and stay safe on the road with our visibility event. Right now, you can earn up to $20 in bonus rewards when you buy a pair of Rain-X Quantum Wiper Blades and Sylvania Silver Star Ultra headlights. Take advantage of the rewards from October 31st until November 13th, in-store or on AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply. Offer available to AutoZone Rewards members.
Hi there, I'm your host, Dog, filling in for the human who's normally here and bringing you the smells and sounds of the holidays, courtesy of Beggin' Dog Treats.
We wish you a begging Christmas. We wish you a begging Christmas. Dog rest ye merry Doberman, let begging you acquire. Deck the halls with strips of begging. Arf, 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 arf.
Remember, for bacon-loving dog excitement this holiday,
It's begging!
It's so easy to buy here at Townsend Nissan in a safe, secure, low-pressure environment versus those high-pressure big city dealers that won't even remember you after you leave. Now, here at Townsend Nissan, you are number one to us, and we're thankful for your business. Remember this, Townsend Nissan offers bank rates as low as 1.9% and up to 90 days to your first payment. And yes, Townsend Nissan wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today. Townsend Nissan is the home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. And yes, Townsend Nissan will remember you now and later for your service and future purchases.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A warm November day ahead. The sky's sunny. Tuscaloosa's high 81. For tonight, fair with the low at 58. Tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny. The high also 81. Then Saturday, cloudy with a good chance of showers. The high at 77. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 51 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Scott Smith and Sophmark Design, doing business for 17 plus years, specializing in graphic design services, commercial printing, promotional products, advertising specialties, and so much more. Basically, any and everything you would need to advertise, promote, and grow your business. Through strong partnerships, strong customer service, and creative ideas, services. They'll help you market and grow your business. Give Scott a call at 205-292-4680 or email scottis@comcast.net and visit them online at southmarkdesign.com.
It's time for the Martin Houston Show. With the same hard-hitting, no-nonsense approach in which he played the game, Martin will take you inside the locker room, down on the field, and across the goal line with his in-depth analysis.
All right, welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. I want to thank Alabama won. Alabama won. Got a couple promotions that we're rolling off. Alabama won Refer a Friend program. Refer a friend and get 10, and they get 10 as well. So get 10, give 10. All you have to do is refer a friend. Go to alabama1.org. Click on the banner. It'll take you to the site. You enter their information, and the rest is up to us. So Alabama One Refer a Friend program, and refer a friend, get 10, give 10. So go out and do that today. And don't forget about the biggest loan sale of the year. That's Black Wednesday, November 23rd. More details can be found at alabama1.org. That's the Black Wednesday loan sale. Doesn't matter what you got going on when you need finances, we're asking you what's your one, and we'll be there to help you with it. That's Alabama one together. All right. X, a couple things. We have that question we asked that Curtis brought up, but before we answer that question about the recruiting is the strongest it's ever been. But we have some worries about this Alabama football team. Therefore, back to the Brian Kelly thing, LSU's quarterback, did Brian Kelly hit a home run, and did he get the kryptonite to Saban's Superman, this team? So he has the kryptonite in Daniels, the quarterback. And as a result of that, does that once again make this LSU's best chance there in a while, as well as Alabama, to beat this Alabama Crimson Tide team, because we don't play well on the road, even though we traditionally play well there. As we go into this game, does Alabama fix the road woes that they've had under the Bryce Young era?
I say yes. I think that's true. As far as the kryptonite, I think it's been a while since a pure running quarterback has beaten Alabama. And I don't know if Jaden Daniels can throw the ball the way that is needed to beat Alabama along with his legs. And I think that's going to be the biggest issue.
Didn't we just lose to a team that has the kryptonite? Running
throw the football.
Right. But that's who has beaten him is a dual threat guy that could throw the ball.
I don't think Daniels can throw the ball at that level.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of levels at Xavier between Hooker and throwing well enough to win. Hooker's probably, and nobody's talked about this. I think we said on this show that the Heisman Trophy winner would be playing in that Tennessee game. I think we said that, didn't we? So
yep.
So either Hooker or Bryce Young, whichever quarterback won that game, was going to come out leading the Heisman that would be theirs to lose. Look like Hooker might be the man if he can take care of business this weekend. But this Alabama team, when I say fix their woes, Aiden X, I'm saying will Alabama go down? And I'm not saying win the game. I mean, not win. I'm saying it's been a while
Yeah.
since we have seen this Alabama team go on the road and just either play well or get ahead of a team and put their foot on their neck and choke them out. I mean, we even with Arkansas, even though we ended up blowing them out, we still had that moment where the game got interesting again. So it's been 2 solid years since we've played well on the road. True, false? Do we finally not just win against LSU? Because I think we're going to win the game. But will we fix that our road woes?
What type of win does it need to be, like point wise? Or you just talking about dominating from start to beginning?
I don't even know if it's a score per se. To me, it's not just a score. It's a feel. It's not double digit penalties. It's not that you have to win it in the fourth quarter. It's not that you have to hold on in the fourth quarter. I mean, you may be up by 10, but you still can have a stranglehold on a team, and there is zero chance that team is going to win. You see what I'm saying? And to me, on the road, we've not been able to relax on the road in a long time, other than the Arkansas game down the stretch. Every other game that you look at, pretty much where there's been a decent opponent, Florida, Texas A&M, we lost, Auburn last year, Texas this year. It's just been like, and then Tennessee.
Mississippi State last year? Mississippi State last year was the only road game that I can think of that was kind of smooth sailing from start to beginning.
And they weren't a very good team last year. That's what I'm saying. Is against decent teams, what have we done? So, true, false, do we fix it?
I'm going to go true. I believe that much in Bryce Young.
Aiden, what you think?
I don't know that I necessarily accept the premise that it has to be foot on their throat, went comfortably in the lead and standing on their neck by the second quarter for it to be a dominant performance from Alabama. I think the talent gap between Alabama and the rest of the SEC is a lot less wide than it has been in a long time. And so, if we can go down into a tough road environment with a team that doesn't traditionally perform well on the road in the last 2 seasons and, eke out a victory against a top 10 team, which in the playoff rankings, they were number 10, not 15, I'm happy. I think that's a good win. If we can win by 10 or more, great. If we have to win by 7 in the fourth quarter, that's awesome too. They're a good football team.
Yeah, and Aiden, I'm gonna take your mic. I'm gonna take your mic, Aiden. I'm special with you. I didn't say anything. I don't care what the talent level is. There's a way to dominate. I didn't say anything about the score. I said I don't care if it's 10 or by 7. You have control of the game. Alabama has not had control of a game, period. And my point is, you're looking at the LSU game. I'm saying against Florida last year, superior talent. Against Auburn last year, superior talent. Against Texas A&M last year, superior talent. Against Texas, superior talent. I'm saying the only time, and then in the Tennessee game, we played with 17 penalties. Texas, we played with 15 penalties. You didn't listen to the question. Do we fix our road woes where we don't look like garbage and we can control the game? It's not about whether you beat somebody by 50. I'm not saying we have to win by 30 to fix our road woes. I'm saying you look at the game, this team is not as talented as this Alabama team if you look at the recruiting trails. And if we are struggling to beat this team because we have played poorly on special teams, we've made a bunch of penalties, and we're fighting to win at the end, it's always a good win if you win the game. I'm saying, will this team fix their road woes where you as an Alabama fan feel like the better team, which is Alabama, had control of the game when it was going down the stretch. To me, you don't controlling the game in the second quarter don't mean a whole lot of anything if it's a good team on the other side, because Tennessee had control of the Alabama game clearly in the second quarter, and then we came back. So that's what I'm saying is, will you watch this game and feel like, okay, Alabama played well on the road? Let me just make it this simple. True, false. Will this Alabama team finally play a good game on the road?
False. By all those standards, false.
And that's what I'm saying. Do what?
I don't think it's going to happen. I think they eke out a win, but I think it's going to be kind of ugly, like we've been seeing for 2 years on the road.
That's what I was saying. Is that was the question? Is this team? And I don't know why they play like this on the road. It can't be just talent. I don't know what it is. What'd you say?
At some point, we might need to say to ourselves, like, wow, I guess really they aren't as talented as we thought they were. There's 2 years of performances like this.
If that's the case, they shouldn't play that good at home. It's something about being on the road.
And it's something about coaching and preparation and development.
Yeah, but you can't say this team doesn't have that level of talent, because we just watched them with 17 penalties come back and have a chance to win a game that they were down 28-10 in the second quarter.
And should have won.
The talent's there. It's the execution and the mentality of when they go on the road. This is still one of the most talented teams Alabama has ever fielded. When you just look at it, it's the execution that's the issue.
Yep. 17 penalties against a good team will get you beat almost any time unless you're as talented as Alabama. Virtually any other team that has 17 penalties against that Tennessee team will get annihilated, especially when it's pass interference penalties against that offense. So we got to get the break here. We'll keep coming back. Love the conversation. We'll keep it going right here on the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. And coming back on the other side, we're going to add Hank South into recruiting. If Aiden is correct, maybe X, we need to ask Hank, is the 5-star today the same level of the 5 stars of the past? Maybe, maybe not. We'll have that more right here on the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier.
This is a Town Square Media Tide 100.9 Sports Update.
I'm Kim Rankin with your Tide Sports Update. 5-star class of 2024 quarterback Julian Sayin has committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide. Sayin is the 4th commit for the class of 2024. Former Alabama running back Derrick Henry won AFC Offensive Player of the Week. The Sabins are giving a teacher 2 tickets to the Iron Bowl, courtesy of the Knicks Kids Foundation, in honor of Thank Alabama Teachers Month.
This has been a Town Square Media Tide 100.9 Sports Update. Run it again! For more info on these stories and more, download the Tide 100.9 app.
Tide 100.9 Traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks. Everything pretty quiet on the roadways as we start our Thursday morning. Now, if you do see conditions throughout the day that folks need to hear about, give me a call, 205-886-8886. Townsend Nissan is your hometown dealer with an amazing selection of new and used vehicles, and they will give you top dollar for your trade. Go see them today. I'm Captain Ray.
Attention, do you suffer from severe fried chicken-related cravings? If so, Kentucky Fried Chicken's $6 2-piece drum and thigh combo may be right for you. The combo contains tasty chicken, creamy mashed potatoes, a flaky biscuit, and an ice-cold drink. Side effects may include more money in your wallet, happiness, and the urge to lick your fingers. Order KFC's 2-piece drum and thigh combo in the KFC app for just $6. That's finger-licking good. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer. Tax extra.
Hi there, I'm your host, Dog, filling in for the human who's normally here and bringing you the smells and sounds of the holidays, courtesy of Beggin' Dog Treats.
We wish you a begging Christmas. We wish you a begging Christmas. Dog rest ye merry Doberman, let begging you acquire. Deck the halls with strips of begging. Arf, 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 arf.
Remember, for bacon-loving dog excitement this holiday,
It's begging!
It's the Tuscaloosa Community Calendar, powered by Pepsi.
The Rise Center will host its annual Buy for Rise charity sale this Friday and Saturday. Shoppers can score big bargains on new items from dozens of local merchants. A preview party and sale will be held at Rise, 600 Johnny Stallings Drive from 5 till 8 p.m. this Friday. Tickets can be purchased in advance for $10. $100 golden ticket gets you early entrance at 4:30. The event continues with free admission from 8 till 11 a.m. on Saturday, November 5th. For more details, log on to risecenter.ua.edu.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. We'll toss it to Xavier to kick off our time with Hank South, 247 Sports, Bama Online Recruiting.
All right, thank you. We have Hank South of 247 Sports, Bama Online Recruiting, joining us on the Alabama One hotline. How are you doing this morning, Hank?
Hey, Xavier, I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. So, of course, Alabama got some big news yesterday. Julian Sayin, 2024 quarterback, 5-star number 2 quarterback in the class, commits to Alabama. What does that mean for Alabama? Looking forward to the 2024 class.
Yeah, it's huge news. Getting your quarterback on board early always gives you kind of a leg up. He's the guy you can kind of build around at that point. Skill players, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, offensive linemen aren't skill players, but those guys are going to see, they've got a quarterback committed, and he can be kind of the face of the class almost, and help talk to these kids on visits. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit more challenging for him to take casual, unofficial visits out to Tuscaloosa very often, but he'll be active on social media. And I'm sure he'll be in town plenty when he can to talk to these guys and help get the class together. And that's what when he announced his commitment, prior to we were talking about why he was committing now, why he picked his junior season to go ahead and commit. He said he wanted to help build the class, and so he's going to have over a year now to do it. He's going to be an early enrollee, so he'll sign in about 13 months. So he has plenty of time to talk to these kids and help out the coaching staff. So huge news to get that done now. I don't anticipate him being a guy that's going to waver either. I think he's locked in. I think it pushed Bama to number 5 in the nation in the 2024 class. So compared to this past year, the 2023 class didn't really get going until spring, summer, when commits really started to hop on board. And 2024, we already see 4 commitments, and possibly more on the way in the near future. So already good progress in the class.
Yeah, and another real quick look at the 2024 class. Tuscaloosa County high running back Kevin Riley. He just had 1,500-something yards as a junior through 10 games. Just received an offer from Alabama. Is he someone that Alabama is going to prioritize, especially when you look at Nick Saban's history with running backs from Alabama, from Tuscaloosa being pretty good? Bo Scarborough, Brian Robinson Jr., and if you even go back a little bit further, you have guys like Lerone McClain that were very successful at Alabama. So is Riley going to be a priority, or is this more of he's in our backyard, so we feel like we got him?
No, I think more of the priority category for Kevin Riley. Especially when you have a guy that close, you're not just going to offer him. They've had kids in the past that have been in Tuscaloosa and they haven't. Kamar McClellan, and a few others that they've always obviously had interest in, but have never really gone for. But when they offer a kid, prior to his senior season, he's still in his junior year. That pretty much signals that that we really like this guy and are going to recruit him hard. So I think Kevin Riley is going to be a name to really watch in that 2024 running back cycle. And yeah, we haven't had a chance to catch up with him just yet on his offer, but I'm imagining it's a pretty big one for him for the hometown school or close to hometown school. He already has a bunch of SEC offers: Auburn, Arkansas, Texas A&M, some others. So certainly a big one, and yeah, I think he's a name to definitely circle for next year's class.
All right, we're talking to Hank South at 247 Sports and Bama Online Recruiting on the Alabama One hotline. Damari Brown, the 2023 DB, we've been talking about how that's where Alabama's still looking heavy to go in recruiting. How is that going to look for him with Alabama being in his Final Four?
Yeah, I think this is one to keep a close eye on. I think he put out his top 4 last night. Bama, Miami, Florida State, and I'm forgetting the other one, but I really think it's Bama versus Miami. That doesn't really matter. He's one to keep an eye on. Bama's liked him a lot. They offered him early. They had him in on an official visit in the summer. Then he was back on campus for an unofficial visit a couple weeks back from Mississippi State. I think, as of right now, I think, like I said, it's Bama versus Miami. He's doing an official visit to Miami this weekend. And when we talked to him after the Mississippi State visit, he said, after this official to Coral Gables, he's going to have a pretty good idea. He thinks he's going to have, be able to make up his mind. And so, with Bama needing another cornerback or two, he's certainly one of the top final targets. Him, Desmond Ricks, Malik Muhammad, Tyler Scott. Those are kind of the main guys at cornerback. But I think Damari Brown's a guy that's really helped himself this season with his play. And I think Bama really likes him, would like him in the class. So we'll see. Miami just got Hermione McClain. Obviously, that they have family ties to Damari Brown. His dad, I believe his dad played at Miami, or he has some sort of tie to Miami. I think maybe his uncle played at Miami, actually, and his brothers, someone's connected to him in Miami. But sorry, I don't have the information right in front of me. But I think he really likes Bama, obviously from the same program as Earl Little Jr., Patrick Surtain II. So definitely has seen, that trajectory and how that could play out for him if he chose Alabama. So definitely a guy to watch, and I think a really talented prospect at that position.
Awesome. And Desmond Ricks has reclassified from 2024 into 2023. He has set his visits. When is he coming to Alabama?
Yeah, so it sounds like he's going to be on his official for the Iron Bowl, which makes sense. I think any kid, outside maybe the in-state kids and maybe a few others that haven't taken their official visit yet, I think it's safe to pin the Iron Bowl as a target one. We've seen now Desmond Ricks, Tyler Scott's going to use it then. Arian Carter's going to use it then. So that'll be a last home game official visitors weekend. So you can expect a pretty solid turnout there. But that's one that's probably not going to come to an end anytime soon. Taking his visits, he's going to be at LSU this weekend, so we'll see Alabama in person against LSU, then be at Bama. But yeah, I think that's one that could come down to Alabama versus LSU. You can bet Florida's going to try to go all out for Desmond Ricks as well after they missed on Hermione McClain. So they're definitely a program to watch, and he's top tier prospect. He was the number 2 overall player in 2024, so he has plenty of interest. I think every school is going to try to put their best foot forward with him. And so yeah, we'll see how that one goes. But definitely a top cornerback target as well for Bama. They had him on campus for I believe it was the Vanderbilt game on an unofficial visit. And then again, like I said, he'll be back for the Iron Bowl. So definitely lots of FaceTime with the staff and top target for sure in the 2023 cycle.
And do we have anybody coming up on the commitment list as we get down to this last month? Any dates that are coming up?
Yeah. So November could be a pretty active month. We saw Julian saying yesterday. November 6th, Kavion Henderson, the 4-star defensive lineman from Leeds, Alabama is announcing a decision, and he has a top 6 as well. I think that's mainly Bama versus Auburn. Arkansas's in it, Georgia, but I think Bama has a pretty good shot for him as well. So another 2024 guy that they could get relatively soon. Then looking forward, November 25th, the Friday after Thanksgiving, is David Hobbs. He's announcing his decision, and that's one I think even this close to his decision, we could see some back and forth. He's going to Georgia this weekend for his official. Tennessee obviously has had some buzz. Bama's right there, so those 3 schools are kind of battling it out for the next few weeks for David Hobbs. We'll see what happens there. I'm trying to think. So November 6th, November 25th, like I said, Damari Brown might be setting a decision date relatively soon, and then at that point, once kids wait that long, I think at the early signing period is when you can kind of expect the rest of them. I think they don't, it's close enough that at that point they just wait. But Hobbs, Henderson, and maybe Damari Brown this month, we'll see good pop. And sometimes 2024 kids, this is always kind of the month of 2020, the underclassmen. We see kids in the past commit in November around that Iron Bowl weekend. Chris Braswell did it a few years ago. Roy Dell Williams did it. Jamarian Latham, he did it. So it's always as the staff really evaluates that underclass group and gets them in for visits throughout the fall, sees their junior tape. That's when you usually see kids start to make their decisions as well. So Kavion Henderson might not be the only 2024 kid. Maybe we see some other guys decide to pop as well. So should be a pretty active month.
Speaking with Hank South, 247 Sports, Bama Online Recruiting. Hank, I got a question for you. With Auburn finally letting Harsin go, are there any guys that are committed to Auburn or were a heavy Auburn lean that Alabama is hot and heavy on to try to pull into this class?
Yeah, not really. I think it's more with that. It's in terms of their commitment list, and with that, I think the biggest guys you look at are James Smith and Quay Russaw, because they've been to Auburn a bunch, even throughout all the drama with Harsin and all that. They were still visiting Auburn a lot. Obviously, have been priority targets for them. So I think the biggest question now with that situation is, whoever Auburn hires, how is that going to impact Smith and Russaw? Are they going to have enough time to, come connect with those two and try to get them to stay at Auburn, stay close to Auburn, close to Montgomery. So I think that's the biggest thing in terms of their commitment. Bama hasn't really recruited anybody on their commitment list. They didn't have the strongest of classes. Not to like insult those kids, but Bama hasn't really been after their commitment list. I think one guy, Carmelo English, was a receiver they liked a little bit. He actually already decommitted from Auburn, so he's not even really looking at it anymore. I think the biggest question is Smith and Russaw. And while we're talking about that, I just remembered another commitment date that's coming up. Sterling, the edge rusher on December 1st. So another 2024 kid I think Bama's in good shape with to add into that mix.
And one last question for you, Hank. When you look at this with the early signing period, and this is kind of just a recruiting overall impact from coaching change standpoint, are we expecting or anticipating as many kids as normal to hit the early signing period like they did last year? And if so, has Auburn waiting this late potentially make them, be just taking what's left? Because last year, I think almost every top 300 kid had signed.
Yeah. I think we're going to see most kids sign early. I think kids are going to recognize that the transfer portal is probably going to be more active than ever, and there's going to be not that many spots if they opt to wait until February. So if there's schools they're looking at, they might not have time or not have a space come February. Depending on who puts their name into the portal.
Right.
Even in December and then January. So I think we're going to see probably a good majority of the kids sign early. It's hard to say on Auburn. I think it all comes down to who they hire. If they go out and get Deion Sanders, that might help them in their early signing period, because, some of these kids are going to see that and, get excited about that and want to go be a part of that. But if, they hire a name like they did the last time with Harsin, where kids aren't that familiar with him coming from Boise, that would probably hurt. So I think it all comes down to who this hire is, who getting him out on the road, or at least, telling the kids what their plan is. And, when they go out on the road in December and talk to kids, maybe, that's what happens. But, it all comes down to the hire, in my opinion.
Yeah, and whoever that guy is literally going to have 1 month if they announce him next week. And so, way to go, Auburn. We appreciate you. Tell them where they can find you, Hank.
BamaOnline.com, 24/7 sports. My Twitter handle is @HankSouth247. So, lots of great content up, and obviously big game this weekend, and our guys have it covered. Going out to Baton Rouge.
All right, Hank. Will you have any basketball stuff in your upcoming articles?
Yeah, we're kind of keeping an eye on Caden Cooper. He still hasn't made his decision. We thought it was going to be in October. Still hasn't done anything, but the signing period's coming up in the next couple of weeks. So, certainly I believe all these commitments are going to sign. So we'll have coverage on that, and what the coaching staff says about them, what their coaching staff say about them. So that's something on the horizon there.
All right. Hey, that's Hank South, 247 Sports, Bama Online Recruiting. Best follow in recruiting. He joins us every Thursday for the second half kickoff at Hank South, 247. Thanks, Hank. We'll catch up with you next week. All right, coming back on the other side, we'll have our 2-minute warning. There's some great comments that I'm gonna kick into tomorrow's show, but we'll share a couple of them in the 2-minute warning to set up tomorrow's show. You listen to the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier on Tide 100.9.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks. Everything pretty quiet on the roadways as we start our Thursday morning. Now, if you do see conditions throughout the day that folks need to hear about, give me a call, 205-886-8886. Townsend Nissan is your hometown dealer with an amazing selection of new and used vehicles, and they will give you top dollar for your trade. Go see them today. I'm Captain Ray.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
In the Town Square Media News Center, I'm Scott Michaels. At least one school bus was engulfed in flames when a fire started near Englewood Elementary School last night. The blaze was apparently sparked by a blown transformer on a utility pole. In a video released yesterday, Terry Saban announced that she and her husband, Coach Nick Saban, would award a pair of Iron Bowl tickets to an Alabama teacher, courtesy of the Nick's Kids Foundation. The winning teacher will be selected from nominations received on the foundation's website. In the Town Square Media News Center, I'm Scott Michaels.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. If you're looking for to add value to your home, make your flower beds pop, make your landscaping stand out from your neighbors, then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help you do just that. They have numerous styles, but they feature the Moroccan Stone Curb series, which includes 4 great styles and unlimited color choices. That's Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. They are the one that can help you stand out from your neighbors. Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, 205-331-6823. You may also find yourself with the need for a custom size stone or custom shaped stone. Then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help with that as well. Paul Fuller and his team are waiting on your call right now for that free quote. And if you tell them that Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show told you to stop by, you'll get a big discount. So call Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing at 205-331-6823 or visit them online at Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, LLC.
If you fish, don't miss the Inglewood Baptist Church Bass Tournament on November 12th on Lake Tuscaloosa. There is no entry fee for this tournament with a $7,000 total guaranteed purse. Registration begins September 15th. To register, text your full name and your partner's full name to 205-792-7398. Boat participants must attend the pre-tournament meeting at Inglewood Baptist Church November 10th for the no entry fee Inglewood Baptist Church Bass Tournament November 12th on Lake Tuscaloosa.
Open wide. Let me see that smile.
There's a back-to-school braces boom at Kelly's office.
Hold on for a sec. Can someone bring me more brackets?
She needs to realign her staffing plan with more registered dental assistants.
Can you reorder the rubber bands in red?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description.
Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
At the Home Depot, we have Black Friday savings all through November. And with that comes a joyful holiday bustle that we just love to hear. Although we also love the sound that comes after the holidays, when people put their new tools to use. In fact, we love it so much. When you buy select Milwaukee M18 kits, you'll get an extra tool for free. So after you're done filling the air with holiday magic, you can fill it with the sounds of doing. The Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. It is our 2-minute warning. We want to thank Taco Casa for making that possible. TacoCasa.com. Go check them out for lunch and or dinner. Man, it's been a fun show. Great chat coming in over on the online listeners. A couple really good takes, Xavier, that we'll set up for tomorrow. Timothy Robinson saying, I think as Bama fans, we hate to admit that the killer mentality disappeared when Scott Cochran left. That's interesting thought. Interesting thought, right? We the last couple of years, we've been trending down in that killer instinct. So we'll see what happens there. Curtis Moore giving a hot take, guys, and we'll talk about this tomorrow, X. I'm throwing a hot take on your show, 11/3/2022. Remember this, Bama puts it all together, starting with the LSU game going forward. Why? With all the Tennessee hype, Georgia, Ohio State, etc., Alabama is no longer the hunted. They are standing at rank 6, and they are the hunter and hungry to get back to the number 1 spot, and that's a dangerous recipe with all that talent Bama has. In parentheses, a hungry Alabama team. And then Virgil Williams throwing in, if the coaching staff doesn't have a killer instinct, then it will trickle down to the players. Saban needs to quit putting it in the tank. If he does that, Bama will get back to Bama factor. So a lot of people thinking, hey, this team being hungry, X, this team wanting to do something. Hey, we'll talk about it tomorrow. Maybe a hungry Alabama team that's the hunter, not the hunted, can find that killer instinct. We'll talk about it tomorrow, giving you our scores and predictions for Xavier Houston for $8. We want to thank you for being a part of the show. Remember this, trust in the Lord always, lean not your own understanding. Always acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Roll Tide out there, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.